It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? If you are looking at me and watching me live right now, we made it. We made it to another weekend. What's happening, everybody? My name is, yes, that's me. It is time for the Geno Jones Show daily. We do it Monday through Friday, unless it's a holiday like Monday was President's Day, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time here in the Carolinas on the East Coast, 5:30 in my place of birth, my birthplace, hometown, Chicago, Illinois, or if you are in Dallas or Houston, Texas, Austin, Texas, shout out. We want to lift everybody in Texas up in prayer. This is our weekend review show, so we're going to talk about that. That's going to be my weekend review commentary. Or if you're out on the West Coast, out in Portland, Oregon, where Boogie and my son-in-law Jonathan are, or maybe San Francisco, the Bay Area, or Los Angeles, the city of angels. It is 3:30. Shout out to my man Ken Wilson and Andre Russell, Dre Russell. What's up, fellas? We're doing this thing. Major contributors behind the scenes to the Geno Jones Daily Show. So we have reached the end of another week, yes, and as my grandfather used to say, Jeannie, he said, any day above ground is a good day. He said, your best day, or actually, let me flip it. He would say, Jeannie, your worst day, 6 feet above ground, will always be better than your best day, 6 feet below ground. And he was right. So it's been really one crazy week. I just saw some news before I went on. I don't celebrate this news. I don't bask in it. Because I root for marriage. I do. I root for marriage. I do. It's being in relationships can be challenging. As my mother says, teeth and tongue fall out, and they share the same mouth. So it looks like it's official. Kim Kardashian. All right, listen to what I'm saying. Kim Kardashian has filed for divorce from Kanye West. Not Kanye West. Kim Kardashian has filed for divorce from Kanye West. All right, so in the office pool, who's the NBA player that Kim Kardashian will wind up falling in love with, having a baby by, and marrying? I don't know. Who's the odds-on favorites? Now, because the sister already, was messing around with James Harden. Kevin Durant? Nah. No, absolutely not LeBron. No, you can throw that off. Who's the odds on? I don't know. We had to talk about that. But I'm sorry to hear that. So Kanye, listen, brother. From one south side of Chicago, brother, born and raised, 59th and Elizabeth, south side. I know you from 79th Street and in that area over there by Rainbow Beach. Your mom was an amazing woman as an educator, just a brilliant woman. Hey, bro, go back home. Go back home to Chicago and link up with those brothers and sisters that knew you before you were Kanye, before Through the Wire, before you did that song and literally had your jaws wired and was in that car accident. Go back with some of those brothers and sisters that know you and loved you when you was hanging out on 79th Street, going to the store, whatever you were doing over there on the east side, over there in South Shore. Go back home. Connect with home, man. Connect with the people that love you for the real you. Not the Kanye, the Yeezy. No, not that dude. No, not that dude. The Kanye that folks didn't know. The Kanye before Through the Wire. I just thought I'd say that real quick because he's hard. Kanye is that one person that we have in our family that you love him or you love her, but it's work. It's work. You'd be like, man, I love him, but man, damn, dude, really? We all have somebody. Some of us got more than somebody. We have some bodies, plural, in our family. But I wish the brother luck. I hope he can really just center himself. I can imagine that he's still grieving about his mom. I can only imagine what that's like. He was very close to his mom. And real talk, and mental illness is real. It's really real. And this is not a joke. It's real. Realer than people realize, because there's a lot of folks walking around that really need some professional help, need to talk to somebody professionally that's walking around like, hey, ain't nothing wrong with me. No, actually something, listen, it's no shame. Mental illness is real, and it's a disease. And all this, everything that we as Black Americans have done, Jesus, man, we need to have a therapist with us 24/7. Just being Black, even with money, even with his millions, dude, you still, when he walks out of that house, people don't know who he is. The wrong cops pull him over. You just the N-word, bruh. You are still a Black man in America, and people will treat you and me, treat all of us as Black people that way. So go back home, go back to the shop, go back around 79th Street, man. The people that loved you and that gave you good advice, and that were mentors, not just about the industry and the game, but life, not the music business. They were mentors for you about life and being a man. So I just listen. God just placed that on my heart. That's not part of my monologue, but I just thought I'd put that in there. Okay, so let's talk about this week. Has been challenging. Shout out to the people of Texas, Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, virtually the entire state except for the extreme western tip of Texas, like El Paso. So they've been without power for about a week. I believe today most of the state has power, but now nobody has water. Yesterday, my commentary yesterday was, listen, for all those that say the federal government, is not important. We don't need the government, especially folks in Texas. You actually had people in government who are in control. Governor Greg Abbott, with this mentality, the Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, they kind of have this mindset. They're like, oh, government is bad, too much government. You don't really need government. But what's amazing is, how is it that people who can tell you, look you in your eyes and say, the government is no good, but they are in the government. You got a government job. You running for an office, but you're saying, it's who's running the government. That's where it gets tricky. That's where the remix comes in. That's where it gets cute. But Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, Bronzeville, Port Arthur, virtually the entire Abilene, Texas, virtually the entire state of Texas is Exhibit A. Government does matter. But what matters more than the government is who is running the government, who is in charge, who are the leaders, who is in leadership in government. Now that really, 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 really matters. You've had people that have died. I heard a story somewhere in Texas. I don't know if it was in Abilene or not. Somewhere in Texas, there was a man, an elderly man. The house was so cold, and he tried to stay warm by just wrapping up in multiple blankets and sleeping in clothes and coats. And his wife went to the store or somewhere, and she came back and she found her husband. He died from hypothermia. The authorities said when they came to the house, the temperature inside the house was 12 degrees. All right? Who is running your government? Who's in charge? who is in leadership in government matters. Which leads me to Fled Cruz, Cancun Cruz, Raphael on the Run, Flying Ted, Lion Flying Ted, the United States junior senator from Texas. Junior senator means he's the one with the least seniority, because they have the senior senator is this white dude named John Cornyn, who I haven't seen or heard from him at all. He's been like invisible, just like the invisible woman for the Fantastic Four. Dude, you can't see this dude. He hadn't been anywhere. And then the junior senator was basically, he just, he got out of town. He just literally got out of Dodge. And I believe there is a Dodge City, or it's in, I think, Dodge City, or Dodge, Kansas. I thought it may have been, and it still may be. Could be a Dodge in Texas. He literally got out of Dodge. He ducked out, got on a plane with his daughters, his family. Now, let me just say this. Let me just stop my monologue right here, or let me just interject to all the parents out there. If you know you're about to do something wrong, or you've done something and you really you messed up, you've effed up, you stepped in it, and you know that you stepped in it, you know you really effed something up. Do not, and I repeat, do not drag your children into your mess. Do not use your children as, if you have a 10-year-old daughter, do not use your 10-year-old daughter or son as an excuse for you screwing up. Do not do that. It's one thing to F up, but it's another thing to F up and then punk out and blame your 10-year-old daughter. Well, you see, my 10-year-old daughter said, Dad, how come me and our friends, can we go to Cancun and stay at the Ritz-Carlton Resort in Cancun? And all the hotel rooms are only $390 per night. Yes, Dad, can we do that? Sure, honey. Really? Ted Cruz? Raphael Cruz, which is his real name, Raphael. Wow. It's one thing to abandon your constituents, the entire state of Texas. What's that about? I think it's about 25 million people, somewhere around 25, 26 million people in the state of Texas. You are one of 2 senators. People are dying. People literally are freezing to death. And you're like, I'm out. Come on, let's go. And then, so this is where you got to be very careful, because everybody that says they're your friend are really not your friend. So apparently Ted Cruz's wife was texting back and forth with some friends and like, hey, listen, you know what? Our house is freezing. You guys want to get out of here? I'm thinking about Cancun. Let's go to Cancun for a week. You know, we could get a room at the Ritz-Carlton in Cancun. It's only $390 per night plus taxes. Who's down? Who's in? Who's down? Those text messages got to the New York Times. And of course, when the New York Times got them, then everybody got them. Wow. To Mrs. Cruz, boy, with friends like that, who needs enemies? Heck, with friends like that, who needs the mainstream, lamestream media? Isn't that what you guys call it? The lamestream media. Who needs that media? Heck, when you got girlfriends apparently like you've got. They might as well be working for CNN or the New York Times. They're probably like contributors. You didn't know that they were on the payroll. Yeah, I guess you did. But just to me, it was just that was just the most cowardly thing. It's one thing to basically run out on your constituents. Really, I mean, just to duck out of town, just like I'm out. But then when you get called out on it, by everybody. Democrats, Republicans, independents, some of your friends, apparently your wife's friends. And you blame it on your daughter? Dude, that is the most punk ass. I'm sorry, I got 2 daughters. And I'm sorry, mother, for the language. I know my mother's watching, but just come on, really? Wow. Fled Cruz. And you fled. Fled Cruz, you fled town. But people died. Because this part is not funny. People literally froze to death. It's going to be hundreds of billions of dollars in damage. People's homes, businesses, pipes busted because they were frozen. Why? Because the governor of Texas, Mr. Greg Abbott, was like, hey, listen, we don't need the federal government. So let me explain it to you in a real quick and simple, easy to digest way. So the United States is broken up into at least 2, I believe 3 major power grids. I know 2 for a fact. One that covers like the western half of the United States, and one that covers like from the middle of the country to the East Coast. Now Texas, because in Texas we do everything big and bigger. So Texas is like, hey, you know what? We got our own power grid. We don't need to be connected because the federal government is involved in regulations, and we know what's best for Texas because we are Texans, damn it, and we do everything big. So they did. They screwed up in a big way, and it cost people their lives, too many people their lives. So basically, they got with some company, and they built their own power grid. Problem was, they never insulated major parts of that power grid. They didn't insulate the pipes that the natural gas comes out, and they didn't insulate the other parts of the infrastructure of that power grid. Now, 10 years ago, I guess they had like a little snowstorm, and it was a warning. It was almost like a dress rehearsal, like a dry run 10 years ago. And people was like, hey, listen, Texas politicians, if you do not protect this infrastructure, if you do not make sure that you insulate the pipes and insulate this other equipment, so the natural gas won't freeze up in the pipes, and that the pipes won't freeze and bust, and apparently their energy system is connected to their water system. And when people can't get water because everything freezes up, you're going to have a problem. It'll be really, Houston, we have a problem for real. But it's like, nah, they didn't listen. They was like, why spend that money on that when we can give the money, the executives can take the money and, buy 2nd and 3rd homes. Maybe one in Cancun, or maybe take more trips with their family while people are dying, and they said, we can go to Cancun and get another room at or suite at the Ritz-Carlton in Cancun, something like that. Or maybe buy another yacht. Who knows? Fund another mistress or 2. Well, unfortunately, Murphy's Law says what can happen will happen, and probably happen at the worst time. So 10 years later, Texas gets a 1 in a century snowstorm, foot of snow all throughout the state of Texas. A foot of snow in Texas? A foot of snow in Texas is like 100 inches of snow. A foot of snow in Texas is like 10 or 12 feet of snow in Chicago, which would be unheard of. 12 inches in a foot. So can you imagine 10 to 12 feet of snow, 120 to 144 inches of snow? That's what a foot of snow is in Texas. And then on top of that, they got ice. So they got ice, snow, and ice storms, and the ice built up on the power lines, and all that got on the power grid. And then they got Sub-zero, not sub-freezing. Water freezes at 32 degrees. They got sub-zero temperatures. The high in Dallas one day this week was in single digits. The high in Texas one day in Houston was somewhere around 15. The wind chill made it feel like it was 20, 30 below. In Texas, in Houston, in Dallas, that infrastructure, that power grid, it wasn't designed for that, for those cold temperatures, because they say, hey, we'll never see that kind of weather here. Oh, it happened 10 years ago. That's just okay. So goes back to when I say government does matter, or who runs your government, who are the quote unquote leadership in government, that really, really, really matters. So let that be a cautionary tale to everyone and anyone watching right now. You got to look at the leadership, from your mayors to your council people, to whoever's the president of your county, your governors, your senators, and the person in the White House. Which I'm going to close on this. This is not a paid political advertisement. Haven't gotten a dime from Biden, from this administration, from President Biden. Didn't get a dime from when he was candidate Biden. Didn't get a dime from him when he was Vice President Biden. But I saw President Biden today. He went to Michigan, the Pfizer plant in Michigan, and I felt really good. You know why? Because I want to go back. I want to end once again. Leadership matters. Competent leadership. And understanding that when you are elected and when you are in positions of power, you have to use that power for good. You have to use that power to make people's lives better. That is your job. Your job is to do no harm. Definitely do no harm. The least thing you should do is do no harm. But the best thing that you can do is to make everyone's lives that you can affect, everyone's lives better than it was when you took office. So I want to shout out to President Biden. I really felt good. He talked about they worked out a deal with the Pfizer company. So they expect to have, by the end of July, 600 million vaccines, or be able to vaccinate. Yeah, they'll have 600 million vaccines, enough to vaccinate virtually everybody in America. You got about 330 million people. Some of those are young kids. So roughly enough vaccine to vaccinate the entire country. And it was just, he understood, but he was like, listen, that we still, we got all these different variants, the UK, United Kingdom variant, and there's a variant from South Africa, one from Brazil, and then I just heard before I came on, there's one somewhere in Japan, in Tokyo, an outbreak that's been happening recently, and that variant seems to be the most dangerous and deadly of all. And that comes from people just traveling and not wearing masks, and a virus spreading. And viruses are living organisms, so its natural instinct, even though it's a virus, it is a living organism. It wants to survive. It wants to live, just like you want to stay alive and I want to stay alive. Well, this virus wants to stay alive too, and it knows the only way it can stay alive is to find a new host, i.e., a new person. Someone that believes that the virus is a hoax and is not real, and didn't want to wear a mask and don't want to social distance, breathing and coughing in bars and nightclubs and the whole nine. Yes, it's looking for somebody because that's the easy mark. That's the easy target. Doesn't have to work hard. Doesn't have to fight through a mask, fight through Lysol. Doesn't have to fight through social distancing. None of that. Just make it easy for the virus. And there's people out there like that. But just kudos to President Biden. Man, leadership really matters. Now listen, I'm not I know I'm not going to agree with President Biden on everything. Listen, I already got a few things I need to holler at him about, like this $15 minimum wage. Now, don't like stagger it until 2025. Stop. People need $15 an hour. Well, people are going to lose. No, stop it. They don't have to lay. These companies is talking about, well, we're going to have to lay people off. No, that's bullshit. I'm sorry I said it, I meant it, and I meant what I said. They don't have to do anything. They will choose to use that excuse if they want to, if they are selfish and greedy. If you work a 40-hour week, $15 an hour, it's just $30,000 a year. $30,000 a year, roughly. Like, who can live off $30,000 a year in America? You darn sure can't do it with a family. Heck, if you're young and single, it's going to be tight. You ain't going to be out there balling out buying brand new Mercedes and flying to Cancun and staying at the Ritz-Carlton. No, you're not. And let's talk about this college tuition that he said he would forgive $10,000. You had some people among the Democrats, Bernie Sanders and I believe Elizabeth Warren, I know some others, saying, listen, no, you need to cancel $50,000 of this outrageous criminal student loan. It is like the biggest racket. That's a whole nother show we'll do one day. He's like, no, he's only going to cancel 10. He's good for 10,000. So I don't agree with that because President Biden, do you know how much tuition is? Yeah, I know you know because you talked about it. So people are paying 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 plus $1,000 in some cases for tuition and room and board a year. Over 4 years, over 200,000, some cases, and forget, that's just undergrad. And if you're going to get like postgraduate degree, if you're going for a master's, forget about it. Just a 4-year undergrad degree, over $200,000, easily. On the low end, you may be out of 160, 70,000 to 200,000 to 250. The quote unquote elite universities, the elite of the elite, Ivy League, even more. So no, the best investment that we could make as a country and as people is the investment we make into our young people. That's and here's the bad part. So here you are on the hook for 160, 70, 80, $200,000 in student loan debt. Then you come out, can't find a job, you're in the middle of a pandemic still, and you don't even want to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Still today, right now, while you are watching me, the federal minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour. President Biden, Joe, come on, bro. Well, what are we doing here? $15? Damn, $15 an hour, that's the least. And people shouldn't have to wait 4 years. Let's make that happen today, like right now. Just like those $1,400 stimulus checks that need to be issued not just as soon as you sign this COVID-19 relief bill. We need to have another bill. Those $1,400 or $2,000, they should be $2,000 at least. $2,000 relief checks should go out every month until 85% of the population has been vaccinated. Because there's so many people that's so far in the hole, so far in debt, so far behind with their rent, so far behind with their mortgage, so far behind with their power, their energy bill. to where their energy may be shut off. Their water might be shut off. They're facing eviction. They're facing foreclosures. Some folks have already lost their homes and kicked out of their apartments and sleeping in their cars or in the park somewhere or under a viaduct. Stop playing. These billionaires are always going to get money. They will always. We bailed at, listen, in 2009, we bailed, you all bailed at Wall Street and all those companies, Lehman Brothers, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all those companies were in trouble, and you used taxpayer money to bail them out. So now let's use taxpayers' money to bail the taxpayers out. Let's use our money to bail us out. It's our money. Why not? How does the commercial say? Hey, it's my money. I want it now. It's your money, and you should get it. You want it right now. Yes, it's my money, and damn it, I want it right now. So stop playing. $2,000 a month until we get through at least 85% of the population vaccinated to where you can, for the most part, begin to really, quote unquote, open up society. And then you can have full capacity in bars and restaurants, and you can get $20,000. You can get 20,000 people at a Lakers game. That was a tough game last night. Boy, Brooklyn, the Nets, they are a problem. That's another conversation. And forgiving $10,000 in student debt, that's not doing any good. You know why? Because the worst part about the student debt, the loan, the principal is one thing, but it's the damn interest. The interest that these companies are charging is like going to a loan shark. And you're paying off, man, you are paying off these student loans in some cases to the grave. And that is crazy. And that is the end of my show for today and for the week. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, God. Most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. It's a daily live variety show, Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Central, 3:30 Pacific time. Shout out to my barber and hairstylist, Markel Bailey. Check him out on Instagram, Kelby Cuttin, KELBECUTTIN. Big shout out to Mr. Bruce Gage. Pop my collar, pop my lapel, the official wardrobe consultant, the official wardrobe stylist for the Geno Jones Show up in Chicago. Check him out on Instagram, Bruce Gage, Gage. And also check out his flyballthestore.com. He is one of the few officially licensed vendors to carry the Negro Baseball League's gear. Really nice mask. It got sweaters and jackets, T-shirts, flyballthestore.com. Check out Bruce Gage on Instagram, the official wardrobe consultant for the Geno Jones Show. Like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Stephanie Lemon, thank you. Brand new subscriber. So what I'm going to start doing, when I get new subscribers, I'm going to have a special segment on the show. Shout out to my subscribers. And now I'm having to go back and shout out some of the old subscribers. But definitely, I will always make sure that I acknowledge all my new subscribers. So today, I want to shout out to Stephanie Lemon, brand new subscriber to the Geno Jones channel right here on YouTube. Thank you, Stephanie Lemon. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the show. Binge watch all the back episodes. I've had some great guests. I had Ledisi a couple weeks ago, who, by the way, we will end today's show with Ledisi's brand new video called Same Love. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis talking about their brand new album. I have my man Gene Noble. He is a Future Soul, new artist. Future Soul has got the hit song, Matching Tattoos. We have my man Larry Dodson, former lead singer of the Bar-Kays, got a brand new single, brand new album coming out. It's a brand new single, I'm Good. Also, you can see that episode and that video. Reggie Calloway from Midnight Star. Chris Jasper from the Isley Brothers. The iconic, legendary Lenny Williams, Tower of Power. 'cause I love you. You know, the begging, crying, yes, that song, that Lenny Williams. I've had public health and infectious disease, one of the top public health and infectious disease experts in America, who's a black man, a brother named Dr. Damon Arnold, dispelling all of the myths, the rumors, the conspiracy theory nonsense about COVID-19. He talks about why it's so important that we as black Americans get the COVID-19 vaccine, because we as black Americans are dying at 3 times the rate of white Americans from COVID-19. So it's very important that we get this vaccine, y'all. That's real talk. And Dr. Damon Arnold, one of the leading experts, public health, infectious disease experts in America, has been a guest. So you can go back. As a matter of fact, about 2 weeks ago, he was a guest. So go back and binge watch that episode. And a lot of great commentary. I've been bringing the heat on a lot of social political commentary. That's my specialty. I love doing that right here. So go back and binge watch all those episodes. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy. Let's continue to lift everybody, especially the state of Texas, parts of Louisiana. Memphis got hit real hard. Nashville. Let's lift everybody up in prayer, especially in these southern states, to where they're not used to getting weather like we get when I grew up in Chicago. See, a foot of snow, it's like, yeah, okay, foot of snow. Got to go to school. The buses are running. All right, you got to get to school on time. A foot of snow is no excuse. They have the equipment for it. Houston, Dallas, they're not equipped to deal with a foot of snow and with a wind chill of minus 30 below. They're not built for that. Have a great weekend, everybody. And I'll see you Monday. Got a very special guest Monday. I'm going to talk about there's a story, a black couple in the Bay Area. And they were trying to sell their home. Somebody tried to cheat them out of $500,000. Yes, someone tried to cheat them out of, and somebody that they were working with, that they were paying to do a job, tried to cheat them out of $500,000. And Melanie Bias will be my guest. She's an expert when it comes to real estate and buying a home. Unfortunately, this practice is pretty prevalent. So I'm going to tell you that story, and she's going to tell you what to look out for. And if somebody's trying to cheat you out of $500,000 out of your home's value, she'll tell you how to protect yourself. All right. I love you. Mother, I love you, of course. And I love everybody. I love you too. I really do. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend. See you Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Until then, all right, enjoy. God bless. I'm going to close. Oh, by the way, like I said, the brand new video from my good friend Ledisi, who is playing Mahalia Jackson in an upcoming biopic of the legendary, iconic, heavenly voice. My grandmother's favorite artist, brings tears to my eyes just to hear the name of Mahalia Jackson, because my grandmother loved Mahalia Jackson so much. And Ledisi is playing Mahalia Jackson in one of the upcoming biopics. Closing with Ledisi's brand new video. It's called Same Love. Have a great weekend. Till next time.
It don't get no hotter than July. Baby, I'm so happy I replied. Left our inhibitions at the door. We know exactly what we came here for. We ain't really trying nothing new. I don't really mind the deja vu. History is better on repeat. All I know is every time we meet, I get the same makes me wanna take you back. We ain't trying to make this house a home, but that don't mean we're leaving it alone. You gon' drive me insane, I feel like I'm losing my mind. We shouldn't be playing these games, we're already out of time. We keep on finding a way to make it feel brand new. I don't know what to do when I keep coming to you. I get the same love. We ain't the same love, but it's the same love. Same love. I get the same love. We ain't the same love, but it's the same love. Same love. I'm never too far, but you won't let me closer. We're better apart, but we just can't find closure. Freezing the frame as we're changing the picture isn't quite what we remember, but it's the same love. We ain't the same love, but it's the same love. Same love. Where might change love, but when it rains love, we share the same love. Same
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.